Does sunscreen cause cancer? What absolute nonsense. So I appreciate with schools going back today, it being the end of the summer holidays, I may have missed the boat with this video a little bit, but hopefully we've still got a few weeks of summer left, and I just had to talk about this because it is really doing the rounds on social media at the moment. For those of you I've not had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Dr. Tom Cordell, I'm a GP, and my mission is to help you live the healthiest, happiest life possible and to debunk all of these myths that you see online about health. So you may have seen this too, a lot of people talking on social media about not putting sunscreen on their kids and using other methods to protect them from the sun, such as staying out of the sun, covering up, instead of using sunscreen. And the reason for this is that there is a concern about the possible cancer-causing properties of the ingredients of sunscreen. Now, I want to make absolutely clear, first off, that there is incontrovertible evidence that sunscreen reduces the risk of skin cancer. So this has been proven in large randomized controlled trials, which show that there is a very significant reduction in the realms of about 50%, which means halving the rates of skin cancer if you use sunscreen regularly. It should also be remembered that metastatic malignant melanoma, which is one of the nastiest forms of skin cancer, is a really horrible, virulent cancer, which is often quite difficult to treat. So, are the concerns about sunscreens potentially causing cancer valid? Well, we know that there are certain ingredients in sunscreens which can cause cancer. So the chemical filters, such as oxybenzone, can be absorbed into the bloodstream in small quantities, but this isn't in a dose that is anywhere near enough to significantly increase cancer risk. We have to remember that our environment is full of things that cause cancer, and that the important thing is the dose of those things that we're exposed to. So, for example, if your doctor recommended you have an X-ray or a CT scan, which is a dose of radiation, which can cause cancer, you wouldn't say no, would you? You'd accept that the risk was outweighed by the benefit. And the same is true of sunscreen. The other ingredients in sunscreen that can potentially be cancer causing are the physical filters or nanoparticles, which are sometimes used, such as zinc oxide. Now, again, these can cause cancer, but they cause cancer when they're inhaled in powder form, usually in large quantities in industrial environments. When they're in the form of a cream, there's no evidence that any of it gets into your body, and therefore the chances of it causing cancer are ridiculously small. So is there any truth at all to the idea that sunscreens can cause cancer? Well, there was an episode a few years ago when, in the United States, a particular type of sunscreen was manufactured with large amounts of benzene in it. Now, benzene's a nasty chemical which undoubtedly causes cancer. But this was a manufacturing fault, and one which hasn't, as far as we're aware, been replicated in the UK or the EU. There being very strict regulations here about how these things are manufactured. So, as with most things in health and medicine, the thing to consider is the balance of risks. So which course of action is the safest on balance? And my view is that by far the safest thing to do is put sunscreen on your kids. Malignant melanoma is a common, nasty cancer, and it is absolutely certain that using sunscreen regularly when out in the sun substantially reduces your risk of that condition. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't, then please stay quiet. If you have, then please drop me a comment. And if you've got any questions, again, drop me a comment and I'll do my very best to answer them. Until next time.